Hey guys, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Paige.
And this is the Pretty Please podcast.
Welcome back to the Pretty Please podcast. On this episode today, we have my staff, aka my mother, Sherri Hickam. Welcome, Mom.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
So before we get started, obviously I already know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a mom, obviously, with 4 kids, Paige, Haley, Ashton, and Kylie. And I'm a registered nurse, not presently working. And I like to exercise and like to be outside and spend time with my family.
There you go.
You forgot you were a wife.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
After 34 years, you know.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. So maybe 5 kids if you include him.
Yeah.
If you 6, you forgot Rex.
Well, that's a dog.
So counts. Lauren wants to know how you became a nurse.
Yeah, I want to go back because
She wants to go way
I know
back.
you know your mama, but I don't know your mama like you know your mama. So I'm like, okay, let's start back.
Well, I originally went to college to be a social worker.
Really?
Yes. And I did get an associate's degree in social work.
Okay.
But then I got to looking and there's no money in social work. God bless those people.
Yeah.
None. So I decided I was going to go back and get a registered nurse license, an RN license. And also my dad got sick. And I mean, he got sick prior to me going to get my associate's degree in social work. But it was just like, I like helping people.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take care of people.
I could see that.
Paige kind of gets that from me.
Mm-hmm.
Of, you take care of everybody else before you take care of yourself.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Where did you go to school?
I went to Vincennes University and I went to IU.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Go Hoosiers.
That's funny.
What was your first job out of?
My first job was on an oncology unit in Beech Grove in Indianapolis.
Okay.
So
How long did you do that for?
honestly, I don't remember how many years I did it. I just know one night I knew it was the end for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had 3 patients pass away on
wow.
one shift. And at that time, we did everything on our unit. We did their baths. We fed them. We gave them their drugs.
Oh, wow.
When they passed away, we bagged and tagged them. We took them to the morgue. We put them in the morgue.
Oh, my
I mean, we
goodness.
did it. We didn't have aides or anything.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say kudos, like, I don't even know how to word that, but like to the people that do that type of stuff, like there's no way I could ever.
It was very rewarding. I mean, it's, cancer research has come a long way since I did it. Because back then we would have patients that would come in and they would become family because they would be there for their chemo. And then you would have to keep them a couple days to make sure they didn't run a fever or their white blood cell counts didn't go back up or fall or do any of that weird stuff. Well, a lot of them, that would happen. So then you'd have to keep them. Well, by the time they got well, it was time for their next chemo
round.
treatment. So we would have patients for like 6 months at a time
Oh, wow.
before they could leave, but then they would be coming back. So you got
got to know
attached
them.
to a lot of them, yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
hard.
And
for
it was.
sure.
It was very hard.
Wow. Yeah. So how did you and Mike meet?
Well, we met in a bar.
They did.
We did, but we were both designated drivers.
Oh, okay.
Mike Hickam, a designated driver.
Right.
right?
That's like saying Austin or Dustin being one.
Yes, that night we were. And I was at a booth by myself and he was at a booth by himself because all of our friends were out on the dance floor dancing. But we didn't realize it. My group of friends was dancing with his group of friends.
Oh, my God.
And then when the music ended, they came back to the booth, and then we kind of just looked at each other, and then the music started. And, when you're the only sober one, you don't want to be out there dancing with a bunch of drunk people.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of waved at each other, and he came over and sat down, and then we started talking, and then our friends were like, let's go home. And we're like, we'll go home when we're ready because we're driving you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
so that's how we met, and then we went out the next night.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
went to
rest
Red
is
Lobster.
Oh, hey, back in the day,
Back
Red
then, that
Lobster was like,
That was a big
High
treat.
class.
Yes, it was.
I love it. So the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have y'all been
34 years.
34 years. Wow. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
That is definitely something to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just don't hear
it anymore.
You don't hear that a lot anymore. Like,
No, you don't, because I noticed, like, in high school, a lot of the girls' friends, a lot of their parents were divorced. And even when they got to college, a lot of their friends' parents were divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see a lot of people working out a marriage anymore.
It's
and
hard.
marriage is hard.
It is
It's
hard.
not,
What's
for
y'all's
sure.
secret?
I don't know. I mean, you got to give and take.
Yeah.
There's a lot of give and take. There's days you love them. There's days you hate them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but you just have to, I don't know, you have to communicate one thing.
Yeah.
Communication's a big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and you got to know it's hard. You got to work at it.
It doesn't just come easy.
No, and just because, you know, you have your bad days, you know you have more good days.
Yeah, for sure.
I can say I've never really seen them ever fight.
Really?
Mm-mm.
No,
I've seen
we
them
don't.
bicker.
Yeah.
We bicker, we disagree,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, I can't really say we've had knockdown, drag out
Like big.
fights, you know, like
Yeah.
walking away, going, you know, some people go stay at somebody's friend's house
Yeah.
for 24 hours. None of that.
Yeah. So you just work it out.
You work it out, or you just give each
Or
other the
just-
silent treatment for a couple days, and then you get over it, you know.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
What were we fighting about?
Yeah, you don't even remember. Yeah, for sure. Well, where'd y'all get married at? Because y'all are both from Indiana.
Yes, he's from Evansville, basically.
Okay.
And well, lived there since he was 5, and then I lived in Vincennes. But when we got together, we were in Indianapolis.
Okay.
We got married in
Indy.
Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
where all the
y'all-
girls were born,
In Indy. That's right. Okay.
by the same doctor.
Oh, really?
Dr.
All
Kylie.
4? Oh, my gosh.
All
Dr.
4.
Kylie?
Yep.
Oh, how funny.
And Kylie was not named
I was
after
going to
Dr.
say,
Kylie.
what's she named after? Wow.
No, she wasn't.
Okay, so y'all got married up there. And then what year did y'all move here? You were how old?
Paige was
I was
in
going
fourth
into 4th grade.
I don't remember the exact year.
2009.
I was going to say
I
early
think it was
2000.
6. I think it was 2006.
Gotcha.
And we basically moved here. Well, Mike went to work for his brother,
Okay.
but we also moved here to have family
Closer.
to help. Because Kylie, when she was younger, she didn't have heart issues, but she had a lot of respiratory issues.
Okay.
And I mean, I was in the hospital with her
Constantly.
constantly. And it was just like, luckily we had the best neighbors ever. And we're still really good friends with them. And actually, they're Ashton's godparents.
Okay.
Colleen and Mark stepped in and helped a ton. Because if they wouldn't, I don't know what we would have done.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, are they in Indiana or are they here?
Indy.
Okay.
Yep. Same place, same house.
Oh.
It's kind of a running joke when we go home. They're good friends with the neighbors that live in what was our house.
Okay.
So when we go back, like, we've become friends with them too.
Gotcha.
But we took a tour of their house and they redid some things.
Aw.
And actually, I like the way they redid some stuff.
I bet that's weird going back in and seeing.
It is, but you know, it's. I mean, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
We did the right thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
But
Now, okay, so you were still working RN up until you had Kylie, correct?
well,
No.
no, I got pregnant with Paige. I had Paige. Stayed home. You know, the 12 weeks you get to stay home. I had a job lined up, a new job that was going to be easier for me because I was working night shift.
Oh.
And Mike was working during the day. But
okay.
still with that, it just wasn't going to work. So I had taken a new job when I was pregnant, and they said, after your maternity leave, you can start. Well, I worked a day and a half.
Oh my gosh.
And I came home and I told Mike, I said, I can't do this. I said,
Oh,
I can't
wow.
leave her. And we had found a lady a couple streets over to watch her in her house.
Mm-hmm.
But the first day I picked her up, you know how you're a mom, you just get that feeling that
Something went right.
something's just not right. So the next day when I went to work, I told Mike, because he was doing sales, so his schedule's a little more flexible. I said, if you can, just kind of drop by with unexpected and
Yeah.
see what's going on. He said, well, everything seems okay when I drop by. Well, then when we got home, I was looking through her diaper bag and, they're like bottles she should have had. She didn't have, because she was coming home with full bottles.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's
is she not feeding her? What is she not doing?
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, I can't do it. I said, we've got to figure something out. So he's like, well, we'll be okay. We can
Make it
we
work.
can make it work for a while. I'm like, okay. Well, then I got pregnant with Haley.
Oh, wow.
And then
How far apart are y'all?
About 15 months.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Y'all are really close.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't go back to work. Nobody's going to hire a pregnant woman.
But she didn't know she was pregnant with me for the longest time.
No, I didn't. I didn't know I was pregnant with her until I was in my second trimester.
What? Were you not showing at all?
Not really.
Wow.
And it was,
There's people that, will get all the way like to their third trimester. And I'm
One
like,
of my friends from college
I'm like,
didn't know she was
how?
pregnant until she was in labor.
how?
yeah, that I don't get.
That's crazy.
I
to
could
me.
feel little signs, but it was like my clothes still fit.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I really didn't start really showing until like 15 weeks. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's your second trimester.
Yeah. I knew I was more tired and I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
It's like I'd go to work and I had cravings for McDonald's cheeseburgers and I never, did. But I was like, I don't know. Because I took 4 pregnancy tests.
And they were all
They
negative?
were all negative.
What?
Every
Oh my
single one of them.
goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So then I got pregnant. Well, so then I was pregnant with Haley, so I didn't go back to work. And then we actually lost one in between Haley and Ashton. I got pregnant
really?
again. Then I had to have surgery, and then I got pregnant with Ashton. And it just kind of snowballed, and I went back to work once we moved here.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Where'd you work out here?
I worked at an outpatient surgery center.
Okay, so not like in the hospital
No,
or anything.
no.
Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha.
But when she got pregnant with Kylie, was it like the day before you had just gotten rid of most of your
When
baby
I
stuff?
found out I was pregnant with Kylie, I had just like a couple weeks before we had gotten rid of everything but the crib.
Oh, no.
I'd gotten rid of all the baby stuff, the high chair, the bouncy seats,
Oh, no.
all the changing table, all that
Yeah.
stuff. I kept the crib thinking, oh, one of these days my girls will use the
Yeah.
crib for their babies. That's the only thing I had.
I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like I've heard people say that.
And then I didn't even tell Mike I was pregnant with her until I was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Are you serious? You knew, but you didn't tell. I would not. Not good.
Yeah.
But you said during the whole time of being pregnant with Kylie, like something.
I just had a feeling something was wrong. Just a mother's
Really?
intuition. I was just, I told Mike, and I didn't feel bad. I wasn't sick with her. I wasn't sick with any of my girls, luckily. But I just knew there was something was not right.
Really?
And all my ultrasounds were fine. Perfect. Didn't show any markers for Down syndrome. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Really?
And usually on an ultrasound for a Down's child, the femur bone will be not in the growth spurt as to what the fetus should be.
Really?
And hers
And
is. And Dr. Kylie even said, he's like, you're worrying about nothing. She's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is showing fine. It's perfect. I'm like,
Wow.
no. I said, I love you, Dr. Kylie. I said, but there is something not right about this pregnancy.
Really? So you didn't know that she had Down syndrome until
Not
she
till
came
she was
out?
born.
Really? Did you know immediately?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But what freaked Mike out, because obviously I can't see,
Yeah.
freaked him out more than anything wasn't that she had Down syndrome. She had a club foot, but her foot, like take your foot and just turn it back. It was totally facing backwards.
Oh
Her
my
left
goodness.
foot.
Have you noticed how she walks like this?
Well, I knew she had. Yes, I have kind of.
It's
I
this
knew she had
foot.
2 different sized feet.
She does. One's a 4 and one's a 2.
Because you were like, when she gets new shoes, it's a big deal because she got to buy 2 of them. I remember that.
Yeah.
So did they have to immediately go in and do surgery?
Yeah,
or
and immediately, because her foot was like basically backwards. She was like this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they went in, they clipped her Achilles tendon, and then they just
that hurts.
slowly rotate it. They
had
would
so
cast
many
it
surgeries.
and rotate it, cast it and rotate
Oh
it.
my gosh.
And they did a bunch of other surgeries on it, and it was,
Wow.
and it's still like this. I mean,
Bless
but they
her
did the
heart.
best they could do.
doesn't bother her most of the time. Her knee is what really she'll complain about every once in a while. But
if she walks a lot or goes, like, we like to hike, but she can't really hike.
Yeah.
But if you make her, like, I'll make her walk, but I won't make her, like, hike. But after a while, she'll say, my knee hurts, my knee hurts.
Oh, really?
And it does pop out of place, and you have to pop it back in place.
Oh, but you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
She can actually.
she can
Oh,
do
really?
it.
She does. She knows what to do to
Oh
get
my
it back.
gosh.
She feels good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't do well with, like, stuff like that.
So,
I would not be able to.
yeah,
Wow.
you would.
I mean, I guess if it's your child, you do whatever.
You
But
do.
Kylie came home with, gosh,
She came home on oxygen. She came home on a heart monitor, and she came home with a feeding tube.
Oh, wow.
Well, an NG tube. Yeah.
Now, how long did that all?
She was on it for 4 to 6 months, I want to say. Like, we got rid of the NG tube first, because at first she wouldn't suck to eat. She wouldn't, like, breastfeed, or she wouldn't take a bottle.
Okay.
That was the only way I could feed her, was like
Through a
the
tube.
tube. And then her oxygen level and her heart level would always drop. Like, the worst was, we were in church and I had all my little contraptions, because I had to carry a heart monitor with me, and then I had all these packs with me. We were going down to get communion, and I had her in my arms. Babe, the heart monitor starts
no.
going off. I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to push buttons.
Oh, no.
But we got it. It was all good. But eventually, it didn't all go away at once. It was like one thing at
At a time.
Yeah.
Wow.
but the first day she brought Kylie home.
Oh, yeah, that was not.
Me, Haley, and Ashton were playing upstairs.
We had
in
a
our
playroom upstairs.
But there was this ledge. It was a long ledge. It was like a whole wall. And we were jumping off of it into a beanbag. I swear it was Haley. It was not me. Pulled the
I think it was
beanbag
both of them.
out from under Ashton, and she bit her tongue almost off. It was hanging by like this much. It was just
Oh, stop.
Flapping.
The first day she was home.
First day, Kylie was home.
Stop.
Kylie was in the bassinet downstairs. They were upstairs playing. Mike and I were just talking and getting everything
and
arranged.
Grandpa was there.
Grandpa was there. And I hear them playing. They're fine. Then all of a sudden I hear Ashton crying. But it was, your kids' cries. Like,
Yeah.
one's a hysteric cry. One's just...
One's a hurt cry.
one's
like
a bad cry.
Yeah.
Hers was just a regular cry, and she's walking down the stairs like this, and there's just blood everywhere. And I'm thinking, okay, her nose is, because it was all over. I'm like, her nose is bleeding. So I pop her up on the counter, and I'm wiping, and I'm like, well, her nose isn't bleeding. I'm like, well, she must have busted her lip. So I flipped her lip up, and there was like nothing. And then she went like that, and her tongue was just
Oh, my goodness.
and I yelled, I said, Mike, get your shoes on. And he's like, why? I said, she has bit through her tongue. And then she's grabbing at it because it's bothering her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to, and he's like, well, what are we going to do about Kylie? I'm like, you and your dad are going to have to take her to the emergency room.
Yeah.
I said,
And might I mention, my grandpa didn't have feeling from,
he had neuropathy.
which is like you don't have feeling in
From
your feet.
From his knees to his feet, they're just like numb.
Oh, gosh. So could he walk?
Yeah, he can walk. It was just like when your feet go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to him all the time.
Oh, that's miserable. Oh, my
So, and he's like, okay. So they both get their shoes on. And I'm like, Wade, you're going to have to drive, because Mike actually had to hold Ashton to hold her arms down so she wouldn't pull her tongue off. So I see him leaving the driveway, and you can tell Wade's like,
Oh,
He was the worst to ride with. When he would come to a stop sign, you'd like get whiplash. You're like,
I'd be
my
so
God,
sick.
they're all going to die before they get to the hospital.
Oh, no.
So anyway, they get there, and it was a long night, but they stitched her up.
back.
And then the funniest thing, when I took her for her follow-up, because we had to wait on a plastic surgeon to do it.
Oh, wow.
They actually called in a plastic surgeon. So I go, and he's like, well, now when she gets a little bit older, she's going to have this little white line, but you can bring her back and we can fix that. I'm like, it is her tongue in her mouth. Nobody is going to see it. I'm
Yeah.
like, no. But if you look at her tongue, you have to look really close. You can see a line all the way across her tongue. Where she,
Really?
And these two, we didn't do anything. We don't know how it happened.
Does she still hold that against you?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I mean, there was blood everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
And I felt like the worst mom. And I
Because you
called,
couldn't take her. But, I mean,
well, and I'm like, oh my God, I got this child here. I can't take care of these
Yeah.
three. And so I called
wow.
not my next door neighbor, but the lady over who Ron and Laurel, they're a little bit older, but they were a fun couple that Mike and I would hang out with sometimes. And they had a son that was, what was Kurt? Maybe 10 years older than, no,
Probably
about
because when I
10, 15 years older
Yeah.
than Paige.
okay.
He answered the phone, and, he's a jokester. And I'm like, hey, Kurt, is your mom home? He's like, well, maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. Oh, Kurt, is your mom home? He's like, Mom. So she came over, bless her heart. She came over, and she said, you just take care of your girls. She cleaned up all the blood for me. I mean, she cleaned everything. She was a godsend.
Aw. Hey, it's
So,
good to have good neighbors.
yes.
That's for sure.
Yes, very blessed in that respect. We were very blessed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
then we moved to Tennessee, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, how long has it been since you worked?
Well, let's see. Kylie's been out of school.
I mean, not that a stay-at-home mom isn't work.
I went back to work actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I went.
Yeah, she would leave at like 5 in the morning. I would
that's
take
right. You said
Kylie
when
to
you came
school.
here.
When I came here, I went back to work actually to help pay for their cheer, because when you have 4 girls in cheerleading,
Competitive cheerleading.
it's expensive.
Did Kylie cheer?
Yes,
She
she's
did
I didn't know
competitive
that.
She's cheered on a special needs
Mom
team.
tried to have special needs team tryouts.
I did not.
You did too.
I did not.
Stop. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
She's
Yeah, that's
flexible.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would get up at 5, go to work, then I would go from work to the gym and work,
Cheerville.
Cheerville,
Oh.
and
Or
then I
prime
get
time.
home about 10,
Oh, my gosh.
do some laundry,
It's
go to
exhausting.
bed, get back up and
Do it all over again. Oh, wow. Whoo-wee.
Yeah. It was better when they started driving, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took
It helped
Kylie
a little
to
bit.
You guys would pick
School a lot
Kylie
of
up.
time.
Yeah, and
And
pick her up some. Yeah.
Wow.
That was our morning. We'd listen to music. That's why she knows some of the songs she does.
Oh, gosh. You corrupted her.
She's fine. Look at her now. She's thriving.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
Funny.
What was the hardest part about raising 4 daughters? Or what was the hardest age?
The hardest age of any child, I think, I don't know about boys, I can only speak for girls, I guess, is their freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
It really is.
That was my year where
I probably can't say the word on this, but they become,
You can say it.
biatches.
yes, big time.
Yeah. That was
Because-
the year I got in big trouble.
Well, and I think it's because that year you're going from middle school where they tell you, you got to get to class, don't forget this assignment. And then when you get in high school,
Nobody's telling
nobody's telling you what to do. So you think, hey, I'm grown. I can do what I want to do, and you bring that attitude home with you and it doesn't work.
Not with Sherri. Or we like to call her Shitler.
She one time was leaving to go to school, and I don't even know what the argument was over. But it was right before she went to school, and I looked at her and I said, if you say one more word, you are going to be so sorry when you get home from school. She looked me straight in the eye and she goes, word.
Paige.
I was a savage.
That does not surprise me at all.
So I was like,
I gotta know what happened.
so I go back to her room, and she likes her makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Took all of her makeup, took all her electronics. I'm talking anything you plugged into a wall, hair dryer, curling iron, computer,
Everything.
anything you plugged in.
Oh, my gosh.
Then I went and got a hammer, took the door off the hinges, hit her door. So she comes home, and she's still mad when she comes home.
But might I mention I did have a bottle of mascara in my backpack.
OMG.
So she's marching down the hall to go to her bedroom, and she goes like this to slam her door shut.
Gone.
And she's like, Where's my door? I said, I told you there were going to be consequences if you said something back, and you said word. I said, so now you got to work to get all this back.
Oh, no.
So and then she went in and found everything else was gone.
Mm-hmm. Started panicking.
Yeah. And I did. I made her work. Each day when she got better, okay, you can have this back. Now you can have this back. But it was probably a month before I put her door back on her hinges.
Oh, my God.
It was a while.
But I think she learned her lesson.
I'd hope so.
I'm an angel.
Oh, whatever. I don't know about that, but
No.
Who was your hardest teenager?
Honestly, none of them were hard. They really weren't hard.
Who was your sneakiest?
I'd probably have to say Ashton thought she was the sneaky.
She thought she was.
And Haley, because I know Haley did some things that they all did some things I think I didn't know they did, but I knew they did. But they weren't, I mean, we were very blessed. They weren't into drugs. They weren't into drinking.
Y'all are very, very blessed.
You know, didn't have to worry about that. Now, some of the kids they ran with, I worried about. Mm-hmm. And especially that one, because she ran with no names mentioned, but one girl I didn't care for, and I told her, I said, she's not a good person. Mm-hmm. Well, I shouldn't say she's not a good person. She's not someone you should be running with.
Not making good decisions.
Yes, she's not making good decisions. And she would use Paige. Mm-hmm. Like, she would go to parties. Paige wouldn't go to the parties, but then she'd call Paige to come pick her up.
Oh.
And then Paige was like, can she stay all night? And I was like, Paige, yeah, I know why you want her to stay all night, because she's drunk and she can't go home to her parents.
Yeah.
So, and Paige thought I didn't know that. I was like, okay, yeah,
Hey, at least
she wasn't drinking and driving.
Say, at least you know she's safe at your house, too. So, I made some doubt.
But, I mean, you know, times have changed since they were young.
Yeah.
But,
for sure. I mean, in middle school, I'd wear Limited 2 across my chest or Aeropostale. And
there's girls now that are like 12, 13. They look like they're 21.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, what? How old are you? Mm-hmm. It's scary.
It's very scary.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely times have changed.
Oh,
that's for sure.
So Kylie went to school till she was 18, but special needs kids can go to school till they're what, 21? 22.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How does that work?
They actually graduate their senior year with their class. Mm-hmm. And then they go back, and they can go back until they're 22, but they don't go with they're not considered in a class with like the other students in the school anymore. They're not like a freshman or a sophomore, junior, or senior.
Okay.
But they have where they go back and they do more like a work study thing, where they try to get them out in the community to work a couple hours. They'll bus them like to jobs and stuff and work. And then they just do the academic part of it stops. And if they're not working, then they're basically just like life skills. Mm-hmm.
Like, did she do any of that stuff?
She didn't do that because
she was not having it.
Really? Well, I feel like I could see her being like,
She loved school up until COVID hit.
Oh.
And then once COVID hit and there was like all the things at schools changed, she absolutely hated going to school.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she go to Hendersonville?
No, she went to Station Camp.
Oh, okay.
Well, she started at Station Camp Elementary when we moved here because Indian Lake and Annenberry didn't have the programs.
They didn't have anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's where we were zoned for, was Station Camp.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah. So did she graduate?
She graduated.
From Station Camp?
From Station Camp.
Okay.
Yes. And it was funny when she went across the stage, you know, they practiced. Mm-hmm. And she did very good. She walked across the stage, you know, they hand you your diploma. Well, she stood there until the principal shook her hand.
Because the principal usually doesn't shake hands. They just hand
you your diploma. And she was like
and she would not move until he shook her hand.
Oh, my gosh.
She just got it off the stage.
Oh, I love her. She's so cute. Now, she's never had a job or anything.
She worked at Zaxby's, actually.
She did?
But that was with school.
She did not like it.
She didn't like it.
I'd say, what'd you do today? She'd go like this, like, wipe tables, wash the windows. Now, she was excited one day. She came home. She goes, I had cookies. I said, what do you mean? I didn't pack cookies in your lunch. Found $1. I said, where'd you find $1? Zaxby. That's how she said Zaxby's. And they would send somebody with them from the school while they're doing their little job.
Okay.
And the next day she said, yeah, she found $1 and I let her buy cookies with it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's where she got the cookies.
She was like, oh, it was a good day.
Yeah.
She loves her
But
cookies.
you still go by there and she said, I work there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So she like,
knows.
I know.
Oh, if you tell her one thing, she's not forgetting it.
Really?
Mm-mm. You tell her tomorrow's your birthday, she will remind us 25 times that tomorrow is your birthday.
And she knows, like if you go, like, she knows how to go to Paige and Destin. She
Oh,
knows,
really?
She knows, like, if I go a different route, she said, where are you going? I'm like, well, we're going, no, that's not, like, that's the wrong way.
She's like,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Those kind of things she can pick up on, you know, she's not dumb.
No, yeah.
But,
Sometimes I think she can actually talk and she has us all full.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
she picks and
She's
chooses.
smart. She's smart.
Like,
She picks and chooses, yeah. But to raise 4 girls, boys, or whatever, at the ages as close as they
close,
are.
yeah. That's a lot.
My best advice to somebody is you got to be organized.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you have to teach your kids. Like, I wasn't a strict mom, but I
No.
didn't let them get away
with-
with stuff.
yeah.
Like, they got their toys out, they knew they had to
You
put
put
their
it back.
toys away.
Mm-hmm.
They got a game out. Okay, we put this game up before we get another game out.
Yeah. So it's not just chaos.
Right. You pick your clothes out for school the night before,
So you're not running around like crazy.
the morning up. You
Yeah.
pack your lunch, everything, but obviously your cold stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you pack your lunch the night before. You get organized to start your next day.
Yeah.
Well, and it helps
That's
make
good
your day
advice.
smoother.
Yeah. I
You
need
know,
to do
there's
that
always
now.
things that are going to pop up, but,
Yeah.
you know.
And that's where I get my OCD from.
Can you start packing my lunch?
No. Half the
Do you
time I
wait
don't
till the
even...
morning of?
Yes. And then I
don't even
leave
bring
the
my
house
own
and I'm
lunch.
like, definitely didn't bring a lunch today. It'll be a DoorDash
There
day.
you go.
Yeah. It's hard. I think especially now, like with Liam, like I feel like a lot of times I just think about him and then totally
You
forget about me.
yourself.
Yeah. So I feel like that's easy to do.
So see, you pack his and you
And
pack
mine.
yours. Here you go.
I know. I need to start doing
And
that.
Austin
for
can
sure.
fend for himself.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah, I used to take them all to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of them?
We got a cookie at the deli if we were good.
Oh my gosh, you sound like Hannah does that with Navy. She knows when she goes to Publix, she gets a cookie.
Ashton would be in the little part, you know, the little seat part.
Yeah.
Kylie would be in her car seat in where you put your
Where
groceries.
you put the groceries.
I'd pull a cart behind me.
Oh my gosh.
And these, Haley and Paige would have to hold on to the cart with me. So I had an eye on all 4 of them. And then our groceries went in the cart behind
Oh
us.
my. Oh goodness. Yeah, no. That's
Yeah.
a lot. I remember when Liam was still in his car seat, too small to like sit in the buggy.
Right.
I'm like, how do people do this? Because the thing takes up the whole
yeah,
cart. I'm
it
like,
does.
I would just have to go in and just get like bare minimum because I didn't have any room to put my groceries. So now I'm thankful that he can like sit up.
Right.
So that I actually have room for my groceries.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just don't realize these things until like you have it. But I
yeah.
can't imagine doing it with 4. There's no way.
Well, and I, you know, this would be during the day.
Yeah.
You know, because they weren't, none of them, you know, obviously this is when they were little and they weren't in school. But I'm like, I don't want to wait till 9 o'clock at night, you
Yeah.
know, because when Mike would get home, we'd do dinner and then it was bath and then it was bed. And it's 9 o'clock.
You're
and I
exhausted.
don't want to go to the grocery store at 9
Yeah.
o'clock at night.
I know that's like me today. Like I just got mine delivered today because I had time after work this morning to go, but he had just fallen asleep, and I was like,
You don't want to wake
I'm
up.
not gonna wake him up. I was like, I'll just order them and pay the extra $10-$20 just to get them delivered, so that I don't
Yeah.
have to wake him up. Because if I do, he's gonna be grumpy. So It's like the things you take for granted before kids, like just being able to run in somewhere.
Yes.
It is not that easy.
Yeah, don't have kids until you
are ready
to give up your own life.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. When do you feel like it got easier? I mean, obviously, you always have Kylie, but
it got easier when y'all could dress yourselves, bathe yourselves.
Yeah.
Give yourself, because at night I'm putting 3 little ones in the bathtub to give them a bath all at the same time. And having to pick their clothes out. And, like, just when you're able to do some of the things that by yourself. Like, bathe yourself, get your own cup of water.
Not having to literally do everything for
Everything, yeah. But a lot of people thought Paige and Haley were twins, especially when they were in the double stroller.
Really?
Yeah, Haley was a big baby.
Really?
They look a
lot alike.
A lot alike, yeah.
I mean, I feel like all of y'all look so much alike.
Haley was my biggest. Paige was mine.
And okay, hold on. I just remembered something. You had all of them naturally, right?
Well, no, I had to have an epidural with her.
Oh, you did? Okay, but we talked about this a little bit, but it just hit me. I'm like, that is crazy. And
well, back that up. And Kylie, because I didn't have a choice with Kylie.
Oh, okay.
Because they had to get her out. I was going to have a C-section, and then they started a Pitocin drip to try to induce my labor.
Okay.
But then the cord was wrapped around her neck twice.
Oh.
We almost lost Kylie, basically.
Oh, wow.
And so they gave me an epidural so they could just
get her out. Oh, wow. But you had Ashton and Haley.
Haley was a piece of cake. Time I got to the hospital, I was like 8 centimeters dilated.
Oh, wow.
If you want to talk about somebody who has a pain tolerance, that one.
Whew.
And they were like, push. I'm like, Phoop. There she was.
You're like, oh, okay. That was easy.
Well, that was kind of Mike's fault that it took so long.
He took forever to get ready to go?
Well, we were there, and I'm like, okay, I think we need to go to the hospital. He's like, do I have time for a shower? I said, a quick one.
Yeah.
So he goes and he takes his shower. And then he comes out, and he's like, do I have time to make one phone call? I said, it's got to be really quick. And I'm holding on to the kitchen counter, and I'm like, oh.
My gosh.
Okay. So then we get in the car, and we're on our way there, and he's like, do we have time to swing by the post office? I was like, no.
Stop.
We've got
He didn't realize that you were
No, that's my dad.
Oh, oh, my. Now they're all grown. Are you wishing grandbabies like ASAP?
No.
She's like, no, because that's me.
Not until they're ready.
Yeah. Hey, don't rush it. I'm not rushing.
I mean, Dustin's ticker's ticking, but mine's still fine.
They got time. They all got time. Lots of time.
You didn't have me, though, till you were, what, 34?
34.
Oh, really?
And then she had...
How old were you when you had Kylie?
40. Yeah. 40.
Okay. Yeah. So
almost 41.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You got plenty of time, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. I don't like doctors.
Oh, my gosh. Zip it. You'll be fine.
I don't.
You'll be just fine. I was the same way, but you just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, if I had her in the room and Mackenzie in the room, they'd both tell me to get over it.
Yeah, you would be just fine.
Well, I didn't want to, I don't know. I know there's a lot of, I don't know. I just wanted to do it the natural way and not have the drugs. And I just didn't want anything to go sideways that would affect them.
Yeah.
I guess was the way I was.
But you say it doesn't hurt.
It does. It wasn't that bad. My back surgery was worse than giving childbirth.
Really?
Yes.
Phew, I had two contractions, and I was like, those were rough.
Yeah, they're rough, but, they go away.
Yeah.
Your back surgery was really worse
when
they hit the nerve.
Then they hit my nerve. I had a screw going into my nerve. So, yeah.
Oh.
It was awful.
Tell us a little bit about what got you so into, like, working out and eating healthy and, like, stuff like that.
I don't know. I just looked in the mirror one day and I'm like,
Didn't love what you saw?
No. Yeah.
How long have you been like?
Because I was in great shape before I got pregnant with her.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Mike and I, our routine was because, we were dinks. Double income, no kids.
Oh, I was like, what the heck is
I was
that?
like, what is that? I've never heard that. Double income,
No
no
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would get up, we'd go to work, we'd meet after work at the gym, we'd work out at the gym, we'd come home, we'd do dinner, shower, go to bed. That was our routine basically Monday through Thursday. Friday would come, we'd still go to the gym, come home, shower, we'd go out. Saturday we'd go out. So,
How long were y'all married before y'all started having kids?
5 years.
So y'all had some time
Yeah.
of just y'all.
Sunday fun day, and then back at it. So, I mean, I was in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had her, and I didn't even have all my weight off with her until I was pregnant with Haley.
Okay.
And then Haley, I don't know why I ballooned up with Haley. I mean, I thought there was like 5 kids in there.
She said she could barely get in the car.
What?
I gained 50 pounds with Haley.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and then after Kylie was born, I didn't have time to do anything except for take care of her and take care of them. And then when they got a little bit older, and then I just decided it's time.
Time for you.
It's time to start doing, and I'm not where I would still like to be, and I probably won't be at my age.
Mom, you can run 10 miles.
I was gonna
I
say.
can barely run a mile when I'm dead.
How many miles do you run a day?
It varies.
Okay.
I don't run every
you
day,
don't.
but if I don't run, I walk at least 6.
Oh my God. That's crazy. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh, and by the way, she's not training for anything.
just for fun?
Yeah,
I just do it because it makes me
Feel
better.
good.
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
And you do that treadmill outside. You do.
I like to be outside more, but a lot of times I can't because of Kylie.
Yeah.
Because I can't go.
Leave
If
her.
Mike is gone, I can't just leave her and
for
go.
6 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he's home, I'll go outside. When he's not home, then I'll do something down in the basement.
Austin said when he was working at your house, he was like,
Oh, yeah, I was working out.
he said you had the music blaring.
well, I was on the phone. Austin accidentally called me instead of my dad. And
Oh.
when I picked up, he was like, who did I just call? And he goes, I did not mean to call you. I was like, you're fine.
no.
What do you need? And he was like, is anybody home? I was like, I don't know, Austin. I'm not
Yeah.
home. And I was like, well, go downstairs and see. If not, I'll give you the code. And he goes, whoever's down here is blaring some music.
He was like, she was getting it on that treadmill. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that sounds about right.
That's one thing I have to have was when I run, I have to have my music.
Yeah.
And I have to have it loud.
The
Yeah.
best is when Mom sent me a picture. Austin's out there in the ditch by the house, and Dad's over there with his arms crossed. And Mom goes, the supervisor's watching.
He said, I was like, was Mike there? He goes, oh yeah, he was watching.
He loves that kind. He loves it.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
He does.
Hey, he was making sure he does it right. I don't blame him.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Make him work harder. Sit there and stare at him.
He's probably trying to learn so he can
Hey.
figure it out.
I also might hire him.
Please do.
Oh,
He'll mow your grass, though.
I know. I do need to hire him to mow our grass. That's for sure.
He
He could do the.
He can do the little house.
Yeah.
Give him something to do.
He loves to work in the yard.
Really?
He does. Yeah.
How are you adjusting to him?
That's a loaded question.
Some days are better, like you said.
Some days you love him, some days you hate him.
Oh,
No, it's going okay.
it's going okay. Just okay.
I've seen my
It's fine.
dad more in the last 6 months than I think I have my entire life.
Hey.
It's just an adjustment, because
I mean,
you
that
go,
would be
you
hard.
go through life where he's at work, I'm at work, or we're both at work, And when they were little, he traveled a ton.
He did.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
He lost, or unfortunately, he missed a lot of, like, their Christmas programs, their
Yeah.
birthdays, just because he was on the road.
Yeah.
Now, he's a wonderful provider. I mean, obviously, or I wouldn't have been able to stay home with the girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your life revolves basically around your kids. There's no like him and you anymore.
Yeah.
It's the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And so then when he retired and everybody's out of the house except for Kylie, it's like he and I have to get back into a different whole routine because I'm used to doing my thing during the day while he's gone, which my things aren't exciting, like laundry, the grocery store, that kind of stuff. But he doesn't realize what I did all day at home. And then, he's retired. Well, he doesn't have to go to work. He doesn't do these other things. He's like, what are we doing today? What are we doing today?
Mom said she'll be going pee. You'll have the dog at her foot. My dad's standing there. So what are we doing today? Mom's like, I don't know. I'm trying to go to the bathroom.
It's like, well, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing. He's like, well, what can we do? I'm like, I don't know, honey. I'm sorry. I'm not your social worker. I'm not the activities director.
That's funny. He wants a list of things.
So anybody out there who needs their grass mowed. My husband loves
Mike's lawn care.
Literally, I got home one day from work and I see something on the roof. I'm like, what is that? Of the shops. My dad is up there with a blower blowing out leaves out of my gutter.
That's hilarious.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful for him. But I'm like, he just does his thing.
Just let him.
Yeah, he does.
Let him do it.
He loves to be outside working. So, and he does.
Well, at least it's about to get warm, or it's getting warmer. And
I will say we have the nicest yard on the cul-de-sac.
Oh, do you? Well, that's nice.
We do.
That is so funny.
So, I do have to tell you one story. When we did bring Kylie home from the hospital.
I don't know what she's going to say.
Oh, it's not bad.
Oh, okay. I was scared
I went
for a
up
sec.
to, we tried to explain to the girls what Down syndrome was. We went upstairs. I went upstairs one night, was tucking them all in because at that time they all shared one room. We had bunk beds. We had like a queen on the bottom and then a single, and one room was used for the nursery. Mike used another one for his office, and then we had a 4-bedroom house, but yet the three of them shared. So I sat down with them and I'm like, so do y'all have any questions, about Kylie?
We were young.
You were young. Haley looks at me. She goes, yeah, it's like a cold. It'll be gone in a couple of days, right? I'm like, no, honey.
No. She was confused.
I'm like, this is not going away. I said, this is how she's going to be forever. And they're like, forever? And I'm like, yeah, forever.
Aww.
But she's Kylie.
She's Kylie. Wouldn't have her any other way.
No.
She'll tell you how it is.
She will. And she'll let you know when she's ready to go.
Yes, she will. Or when it's time for you to go home.
Oh, she will.
Oh, yeah.
We had friends over one night, and she was tired, and she was ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
But she will not go to bed.
She won't go to bed because she's afraid she's going to have a little FOMO. Yeah. She won't go to bed. So she looked at him. It was my friend Lynn and Wendy, and I can't remember who else was there. But she goes, you go home, you go home, you go home.
No, she.
And they just started laughing, and we just kept chit-chatting like another half hour. And I was like, Mom, I'm tired. I'm like, honey, you can go to bed.
Yeah.
And she's like, so she's sitting there, and she looked at him again. She goes, you go home, you go home. They're like, I think she really wants us to go home.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well,
I wish we could all be like Kylie.
yeah.
Just say it how it is.
Yeah.
Not give a care in the world.
Don't sugarcoat it.
No, just keep on going about your life.
Yeah. So,
Unless you take her iPad away, then she gets a little pissed off.
yeah, she gets a little, not really upset, but she
Yeah.
gets unhappy.
Yeah. Do you think that she learns a lot from the stuff that she
Watches? Well, I'll be honest with you. She learned CPR from watching her iPad.
She
I
did.
think you did tell me that. That's impressive.
Because one day I came in and I'm like, what is she doing? She was on the ground and she was like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What was she doing it on?
She was just doing it on the floor, pretending
okay.
there was a person
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And does she picks what she wants?
I mean, I kind of can listen to what she is it's usually wrestling, women's wrestling.
That's why you
WWE.
said that earlier. Take her to New York to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And her favorite wrestler is Bella. I don't even know who Bella is. she watches Dance Moms. And then she will watch her routine over and over and over, and then she will perform the routine.
Oh, really?
To the best of her ability.
Okay.
But you have to watch her, and then you have to applaud for her. And then she walks off like they walk off stage.
It's hilarious.
I gotta see this. That's great.
And then she likes to watch like soldiers and stuff coming home. The family's getting together.
Really?
When Dad walks in, when he would be at work and walks in, she would act like he's coming home.
Be Daddy's home. Daddy's home. She'd run and hug him.
Oh my goodness.
What else does she watch?
Basketball.
She loves sports.
She
Any
loves
sports.
sports.
Yeah. She'll watch any
She likes going to sports games too.
Really?
Like hockey, basketball, football.
And she knows the rules of basketball.
Really?
Because Mike used to take her to the Belmont games all the time.
Interesting.
They used to have season tickets and go. That was their thing.
Huh.
He and her would go to the Belmont games.
Everybody learned Kylie real quick.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
they did. So
She got in trouble at one Belmont game.
Oh, what'd she do?
well, Belmont lost,
Uh-huh.
and
She's
they were
very much of a sore loser.
Yeah, she's not a good. Yeah. And she was walking up the stairs, and there were some fans from the opponent's team. I don't remember who they were. And she looked right at him. She goes, "Loser!" And Mike grabbed her so quick.
Oh my gosh.
So then she knew she was in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So Mike said they got to the car, and she wanted to sit in the back seat. And he's like, "No, you're not sitting," because she knew she was in trouble.
Uh-huh.
He's like, "You're not sitting in the back seat. Get up here." Because she knew she was going to. So he said as they're leaving, he notices she takes the little lever and she lowers her seat all the way back. So she's like laying down. So she's in the back seat.
Oh my gosh, I love her. That is great. She's like, I'm gonna avoid this situation.
She's so clever. I tell people all the time. She's too smart for her own good.
Oh my god, that's
So
funny.
she got home, and then she had to tell me what she did. And she knew she was in trouble. Because, we don't let her do stuff. And you can't discipline her like you can a typical child.
Yeah.
But there's ways you can discipline her to make her realize what she did was wrong. And you don't do that again.
Yeah.
Well, I think with special needs kids, they're going to, in some instances, act and be capable of what they're capable of by their parents and who they're around. Like, if you help them with things, like Kylie would have a book and we would make her, when she wouldn't be able to speak, it would say, "I want," and then she had to put down what she wanted. So, like, that was her form of speaking.
There was a picture, like she could pick from pictures and they were Velcro. And you Velcro them into...
Okay.
And that was before she could talk, or we taught her sign language, or so like.
Interesting.
I feel like to a point, you have to help them as much as you want them to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how old was she when she started talking?
She was probably because I signed with her. Well, the girls even learned some sign language to be able to.
She knew no real well.
Yeah, she did. Just to be able to communicate with her. But she probably started talking when she was maybe around 2-ish.
Okay.
And the first thing she learned was everybody's names. Like the girls' names and mom and dad. And
so she was young.
Yeah,
so
she was
typical.
But then there was something she still
didn't.
Yeah, so she would sign, or if she was trying to tell me and I couldn't understand, I'd say, "Go get your book."
Okay.
And she'd go get this book.
She could tell you.
And it had like foods, activities, colors, clothing, and she could pick, and it would say, "I want." She could pick the picture and put it on the book, and then it would tell me the book was telling me what she was trying to tell me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I think she's also the way she is because with us, we had friends over a lot, and we wouldn't keep her away from that. Like, she would socialize with us, or if we went out or something, there's a lot of times we took her with us once we were able to drive to get social and be comfortable and know you can't act out here, things like that.
We are very blessed. Mike and I are very blessed with the older girls. Because I do know families that the older children don't want anything to do with their special needs child.
Yeah.
our sibling.
Yeah. They feel
And-
left out.
yeah.
And
so, like, if Mike and I would die tomorrow, I know Kylie is taken care of.
for sure. Yeah.
So, and I said, there's 3 of you. There's 12 months in a year. You can each have her 4 months. Just rotate her around.
I mean, they asked.
Yeah.
Because they asked, like, okay, who for when they were doing
We did.
stuff.
And it's like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
We don't.
Oh, and we all argued. So they
we
were like,
don't
okay, screw it.
expect them to take care of her after we are gone. That's not their responsibility. So when we were making out our will, we're like, we've got to put something in here.
there.
Does anybody want the responsibility of taking care of her? And they all said they did. And I'm like, think about it.
Let me know.
Because
That's a big
it's
responsibility.
Because, at that time, probably when something does happen to you, you're going to be married and you're going to have your own family. And she's going to be older. So this is somebody older. You've already got your family. You really need to think about this. And they all came back and said they wanted her. So I'm like, well, I'm not just going to appoint one. We're going to put it in, and then they can figure out how they want to do it.
Yeah. You need to do yours too, ma'am.
Yeah.
What'd you
We'll
say?
get there.
I did my will, what was that? A couple months ago.
ago.
And so I was like, you need to do one. I know
she
we're
does.
young.
Well, you don't
but
realize how much you have until you start
putting it down on
thinking
paper
about it.
and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, well, and especially now that we have Liam, like, if something were to happen to me in Austin, like,
He needs to know where he's going.
exactly.
Or you need to know who's going to take care of him.
Exactly. So we were like, yeah, we need to do that. So,
And that's another thing with a special needs child. You feel like you're disowning them. But in our will, her name is never mentioned. Because if we put her name in our will, then anything we would leave her, the state thinks they have the right to. And that's the law. The state can take it.
really?
Yeah. It has to be put into a trust. So it says, like, our assets are left to Paige, Haley, Ashton, and Special Needs Trust.
Really?
So that way it's divided 4 ways.
Interesting. I did not know that.
It's crazy
That
that
is
you can't
crazy.
put.
Like,
Her
my
name.
mom can't have, like, she has grandkids and then she names them, but she can't put Kylie's name in it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And the laws are different in each state.
Huh.
So anybody out there that has a special needs child, you need
Look
to go
into
to,
that.
Yeah, definitely.
you need to go to a lawyer that knows.
That knows special
Yeah.
needs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's just like when Kylie was going into high school. At that time, they wanted her to move from Station Camp to Hendersonville High School because now she's known for Hendersonville. And my mom and dad were like, no, she's not.
She knows all these.
She knows all these people. All of these
Yeah.
people know her. Like, we're not. They had to end up going to court and everything.
Oh,
and
really?
fighting.
We didn't go to court
Oh, you
for
didn't go to
that, but we did. We had to go
Fight
to the
it.
school board. We had to write letters.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just take somebody like that away.
I said
from-
she's not a typical child.
Yeah.
She's grown up with these kids, and I mean, she had some kids that looked out for her at there were some very sweet kids at Station Camp with her. And I'm like, it's not fair to her.
No.
She doesn't understand why you're pulling her out her freshman year and sending her to a school where she knows
no
one. Yeah, her sisters, let's see, Ashton would have
only been the only one there.
Ashton would have been the only one there with her because Paige and Haley were already graduated.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, because Ashton's not,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
no.
Well, and there was
That's not-
times we'd go to the grocery store and somebody would be like, hey, Kylie. And we're like, we didn't know who
Yeah.
they were, but they were
They
somebody from
knew
her
Kylie.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool to see.
And she didn't always know their name. I like, who was that? School. I'm like, okay, she knows them.
She
from
knows
school.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't any skin off their back. I was taking her and picking her up every single day. She
Yeah.
wasn't riding a bus.
Further for you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was very interesting. But
Well, at least
We
you
kept her
got
there.
it figured out, and she
Yes.
was able to stay because that would be.
Now, we did
I mean,
have
that's
to
hard
go-
enough on a normal. Then
like when your parents move you your
Yes.
freshman year of high school,
Yeah.
you have to start at a new school.
that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have to go to court though when she turned 18
Really.
because we had to get legal representation of her.
What does that mean?
Because at 18, you're legally an adult where you can make your own decisions. Well, even though she has special needs and doesn't understand, you still have to go to court and you have to become their legal guardian for life so you can make the decisions for them.
That's not just a understood thing.
You would think.
But okay, so say I had Kylie, my parents were out of town. I have this piece of paper in my car that says that I can make decisions if my parents aren't there. Like, I have to have this piece of paper. If I don't have this piece of paper, I can't make any decisions.
Really?
Yeah, all the girls have it.
Really? Mm-hmm. Huh.
But yeah, you have to go to court.
That's
in front of a judge. Now, Mike and I got off, I don't want to say lucky, but we got off because she just happened to turn 18, like, when COVID was still a thing. Mm-hmm. And, like, the courts weren't open and stuff. And we just did online. We just did it like a Zoom online, and it didn't take us long. It was more of a process of getting it set up and doing all the paperwork.
Than actually doing it. Yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah. I would think that would just be like a understood thing.
You would think it would be. Yeah, because
she's
not going to understand, hey, you want to buy this cup for $100? Sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah.
100's her favorite number.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yes, everything's 100. Mm-hmm. Everything's 100. 100 orders. What's your goal? 100.
We need to bring Kylie in.
The other day she said 20. I was like, okay, I can do that.
But you like charge me an hour. 100.
Yeah.
Everything's 100.
What would you say has been the hardest thing with Kylie?
With her or with other people in her?
Do her first, and then we'll do other people in her.
The hardest thing for me with her is to see her struggling, and I want to help her, and she say, I do it. So
she's determined.
She's independent. She wants
so she will sit and try on some things, and I just want to reach in there and help her do it. Because it hurts me to watch her not be able to achieve that goal that she's trying to achieve. That's probably one of the hardest things.
Yeah, that would be tough for sure.
I mean, that would be with any child, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That kind of takes me to like Charlotte's soccer games, because I grew up playing soccer.
Right.
And like these 5-year-olds out there, and I'm like yelling at them, and I'm like, I just want to get out there and go score the goal for them. Who like eats at me. I'm like, okay, Lauren, calm down. They're 5.
They're 5.
I'm like, it's going to be okay.
Exactly.
But I mean, you want to get in there and like just help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's any child.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, would it be nice if she could shower herself? Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
If she could wash her own hair. Yeah.
She's got some hair.
Oh,
she's
my
got some good hair. She does.
And she'll try, but she won't get all the suds out or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll say, I good? I'm like, no, you got a
bunch of soap up here.
Let's do this again.
So what would be with other people? What would be your...
I know from back in the older days when, if you had a child like that, it would be like, oh, they need to go into an institution.
Oh.
I mean, that's what people recommended. Yeah, they just took them away and put them in institutions.
Oh, wow.
Because they were a menace to society. And there's still a lot of people that have that mindset. Mm-hmm. And I've run into a couple of them every once in a while. And I just, you want to get ugly with them and you want to set them straight and yell at them and, that kind of stuff. But I'm like...
Not even worth it.
Well, you just got to try to be the bigger person, I guess. But there was one time in the grocery store when they were little, back to our 2-cart thing, and a lady came up. She goes, oh, let me see the baby. And she looked, and then she realized it was a Down syndrome. She looked right at me and said, why would you keep something like that?
I would have gone off.
I would have knocked her in her face.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, but I had 3 other little ones. And I stood there for a minute. I'm like, okay, how do I handle this in front of my children? Mm-hmm. And so I just looked at them and I said, okay, girls, we're going to keep going because there's some people, and I looked right at her. I said, that are ignorant. I said, and we're not going to be like that. And we just
you're a bigger person than me because my butt would probably be sitting in a jail.
So,
That makes me mad sitting here.
I know it does. It just infuriates you, but at the same time.
Yeah, you do. You have to be that bigger person. Wow.
So. Now, if I would have been by myself, I probably would have said hello.
Yeah.
But since I did have my girls there. But my girls also, they grew up, you know, not knowing, but I mean, they took upon themselves. It wasn't like something Mike and I said to them. You know, you can't be friends with somebody that can't be friends with Kylie.
Yeah.
We never said that to them. But they just grew up knowing if their friends didn't like Kylie, then they weren't going to be a friend of theirs.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's how I was with dating. If you weren't okay with it, bye-bye, I don't need you.
No.
And Paige had a friend like that. I think it was in 5th grade.
Oh, yeah, I knocked her
she came over, and she was going to spend the night, and the little girl saw Kylie, and she's like, "Ooh, don't let her touch me. She has germs." Or, "Ooh, I don't want to get what she's got."
Really?
And so Paige came to me and said, "Mom, I don't want her to stay all night." And I said, "Well, why not, honey?" I said, "What happened?" And she told me what she said. I said, "Well, let me call her mom."
Yeah.
So I called her mom, and I talked to her mom, and her mom wasn't, I mean, I know where the little girl got it from. I said, "Well, then you can just come pick her up."
Yep.
And she did, and Paige never hung out with her again.
Wow.
But that was Paige's choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we didn't say you can't hang out with her.
Wow.
So
No, but that's how it's always been. I mean, even like when I start dating people or whatever, it was when I told Dustin, I was like, you know, like if we get serious, like if we get married, like she will come live with us. And he was like, okay, then we're good.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that you have to be upfront with them about first, for sure.
That's like Haley when she was dating Ryan, and Ryan was going to meet the family for the first time. He came, everything went fine, and I was talking to Haley afterwards. I said, "So, was he nervous?" And she's like, "Well, he really wasn't nervous meeting you and Daddy. He was nervous about meeting Kylie because he knew if he didn't pass the Kylie test, he was gone."
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird. Kylie has a good
She's got a sensor.
Yeah.
She knows if they're good or not.
She does, actually. I think a lot of Downs children do.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She will have nothing to do with you.
Really?
Mm-mm. And if she thinks you're a good person, she'll interact with you and like want to hug you and
really,
yeah. But if there's a bad vibe, she stays away. And I'll say 95% of the time she's been correct.
Pretty, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, we're very blessed with our older three.
Yes.
And they're
all
friends.
Of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're friends. They're all.
I mean, they'll even just come and hang out or take Kylie or do whatever.
Yeah, like a couple of them came and can we take Kylie bowling because she loves to bowl.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She had her own bowling ball.
So does Austin. We'll have to get them
together.
We'll have to take them up there. Austin loves it. So.
Yep, she does. She loves to bowl. She doesn't use the bumpers either.
Really?
No.
Oh, dang. I still need the bumpers.
I do too. Like, can I have one of those granny pushing cart things?
Little dinosaur thing. That's so
But she does roll it granny style.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. Because her hands are too little to grip the ball.
Oh, yeah.
What are some features of kids with Down syndrome?
Well, obviously their eyes. Mm-hmm. And then their jaw lines from like here to here is smaller. So that's why their tongues protrude a lot because they don't have the room that we do to hold their tongues in. It has nowhere to go.
Interesting.
So it comes out.
Because she does have a long tongue, doesn't she?
I was going to say, have we ever showed you her tongue?
I feel like I have seen it,
Yeah, she's got one of the Gene Simmons tongues.
It's long.
Stop.
Very long.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then some of them you can't see, like the femur.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at her toes, like her big toe, it's like really, really webbed. I mean,
That's my Down syndrome trait.
They're
you have
really
like
far apart.
Okay.
Like the big
really
toes
far.
over here and your other toes are over here. I mean, there's a big gap.
Oh, okay.
A big, big gap.
Interesting.
A lot of them have heart difficulties, like holes in their hearts.
She had one when she was born.
She had one, but hers corrected itself. But a lot of them have to have
surgery
to correct the hole in the heart.
Is she still like pretty healthy to this day.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
healthy as a horse.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
She
We've
loves
been
the
very
doctor.
lucky.
Really?
Yeah. She doesn't, a lot of them have thyroid problems. She was on thyroid for a little bit, but she's not anymore. So she doesn't
That's
take
awesome.
anything. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, she's pretty healthy. Very
good.
healthy, actually. Their ears are
Tiny.
tiny. And hers are actually kind of disproportionate. One's a little bit different than the other. Just features like that. Their nose is kind of smushed. But they say, now I don't know if this is true, they say every human has one trait.
That's what
Down.
Paige said. I was like, that's very, very interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. But like I said, some of them are internal. You can't really see it.
See them. Yeah.
So that's Kylie in a nutshell.
Her mom thinks she's special.
Do what?
I said her mom thinks she's special. That shirt.
Oh, yeah.
She has a shirt that says that.
I have a
Oh,
shirt.
you have.
No.
No, she does.
Kylie
yeah.
has a shirt. So we all wore inappropriate shirts one year at the beach.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
Very inappropriate. Like my mom found mine. I'll tell you what it says in a minute. But
No, you'll tell her later
But Kylie, my mom found a shirt and she got it for Kylie. And we're like, okay, well, what is it? And the shirt says, my mom thinks I'm special.
Oh.
How's that all? That's so weird. She has special needs.
That is, she is special.
Yeah, but it's kind of a jab.
That's terrible. If you think about it like that, that's not how I think about it. Lord.
Yeah, our beach trip, one night we have a big crab boil.
Okay.
Like everybody that's there comes and we have a big crab boil. And so our house, we all got these shirts to wear to surprise everybody. And yeah.
We did that for my 30th, and I'll have to, I'll have to show you
Some
the
of them
picture.
were very inappropriate.
Yeah, ours are too. I love it.
But I did find a good one for Paige, but she'll have to tell you off camera.
Can't wait.
I still have it. It's the only t-shirt I kept.
Oh my gosh.
So, all right, to close this out, tell us one piece of advice, actually two. One piece of advice with a child with a disability, and then one for raising 4 girls.
Well, for both, actually, patience.
That was the first thing that popped in my head.
But with a child with special needs, you need a lot of patience and understanding. And you got to deal with what comes your way and don't think, poor me or why me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what God gave you. That's, you got to do with it what you got to do.
Yep.
And with 4 girls, be ready for some drama.
Yep.
Well, and just know they're all different. Mm-hmm. With any girls, boys, don't compare siblings because none of ours have the same kind of disposition. I will say they all have a very good work ethic, but personalities, attitudes, they're all different, and you just got to go with them. You got to let them be them.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
guide them the best you can, and then you hope they take that guidance and do the right thing with it.
That's good.
And I feel we've been blessed and ours have.
For sure.
We try.
Y'all turned out pretty good.
We don't always succeed, but we try.
Hey, that's all you can do. Try.
And learn to back off when you need to back off, which is really hard for me.
Oh, I'm sure. That's hard for any mom
Oh, yeah.
or parent. I mean, for sure. You just want to, like we said earlier, do it for them or tell them how
Right.
to do it.
Right.
But you got to step back some.
Well, there's times where you have to let them
Learn on
make their
own.
own decision, and it's either a right decision or a bad decision. And
Even when you know it's the wrong decision, that's when it's really hard.
That I'm sure, for sure.
Because all you youngins out there, remember your parents have been through stuff. We know
We always think we're right.
we know just a little bit more than y'all do.
Yeah.
And we always will.
Mama's always right. That's for sure.
That's right.
90% of the time.
Yeah. For the most part. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It
was fun, yeah.
Chit-chatting with you.
It's been fun.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Pretty Please podcast. And Paige and her mama. Stay tuned for more to come. If you have any questions for us, just let us know. And always remember, be kind to one another.